Welcome back, everybody, to the Arcane Games and Events Open Series Top 4. These are the 4 players moving on to the semifinals here in the tournament. We have Gabriel Montez on Dromai Ash Artist versus Nicholas Tag, who just defeated Talon Stradley on Riptide Lurker of the Deep. That was the feature match just a moment ago, and the feature match we will be covering, my friends. Ethan Mansant Van Sant, a Levia player known round the world on his signature deck, versus Moises Lopez, who has been looking quite armed and dangerous on that Kayo list all day. They're going to be fighting off in a brute battle for the ages.
Looking forward to this one, Sam.
As am I. Let's. Oh wait. I skipped our beautiful match intro screen.
To see this.
Look at this. Ethan S.R. Van. I don't know what those stand for, but he did tell me those were, part of the middle name there. He is gonna be on Levia. Moises on KO. This is the semifinals here at the AGE Open. It's time to finally find out once and for all. We can officially just answer the question, which brute is better? I mean, we'll just know definitively going into Pro Tour here. If one of these brutes wins, then definitively we know that brute is better, and that everybody can just, know from this point forward. This is the match.
6 of each here. It should be 12-0 next time.
Yeah.
At least a ratio.
Yeah, this is gonna. I mean, this will just determine it. I think everybody is excited because they know that they just get to watch this game. The entire meta will be solved by the end of it, and so everybody can. Yeah, it's really exciting. A pretty seminal moment in this metagame or in Flesh and Blood history to know. Just like we just get to answer all those questions. So it's really exciting for all of us here in the booth and at home. But no, with a little more of a serious tone, I think this is going to be relatively indicative of what both players want to be doing, right? Ethan bringing this Levia deck, as he just told the stream, he said, if you're going to be doing this, if you're going to be bringing, a brute deck, why don't you play the better brute deck, right? He's like, he really wants to utilize the power of the shadow talent, the power of those equipment pieces, and the high functionality and optionality that the Levia toolkit brings you. But Moises really showing off the power of agility tokens, might tokens, and cast bones in his KO deck.
That's right. I think Moises is looking to be aggressive. I've seen his deck list, and he's got a lot of those go-agains, specifically the Zealous Belting he's bringing in, saying he wants to go face as much as possible.
Absolutely. That is what the KO deck does best. We see the Heart and Cross Strap brought in for the matchup. Going to go as fast as possible. The semifinals of the March AGE Open starting here, folks. Let's go ahead and get into the game.
And can we just take a second to admire the Levia with the 2 claws there, the full art between all 3 cards? Beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous. If there's one thing we know about Mr. Mansant Van Sant, it is that he loves the bling in that Levia deck. He likes to play max rarity, everything foiled and cold and rainbow. And as oh, look at that. Looks like he might have a couple of Bloodrush Bellows in the hand there. Oh, yeah, dude, that's all the games we have today. We just get to watch Blood Rushes stack up. I wonder if Ethan's happy to see the 2 here or if...
I imagine 1 would be preferable.
Yeah, probably just 1 would be enough.
Especially if he's going first, right? So he's thinking
about playing. And he was first seed, so he's putting Moises second here, which is interesting. I think he's valuing potentially trying to find the graveyard fill if possible, but
makes sense to me.
Guardian of the Shadow Realm looks like a card in the hand there.
He doesn't fill the graveyard.
No, can't fill the graveyard on this turn. Got a Bloodrush Bellow in the arsenal. Got a Bloodrush Bellow in the hand. He's looking a wee bit.
A little tell on the face there. He's not super happy about that.
Not exactly where he wants to be to start this game, but Moises is already off to the races. The Wild Ride going to go ahead, draw a card, discard a random card. Let's go ahead and find out if it's going to be a 6. Knowing this KO deck, it's probably yes.
Yeah. Getting that 1 out of the way early on the 6-sided dice.
Absolutely. Both these players, you have to imagine Scabskin's going to be a last resort, but thanks to the Wild Ride discard, going to make a might token for Moises' next turn, and he does have the go again. So 6 coming in with the go again. We know Ethan's got 2 of those Blood Rushes. Let's see how he wants to deal with this 6 damage. Both players rocking 3 similar pieces of equipment. However, the main difference, Moises going to go ahead and opt for the Heartened Cross Strap, one of the cards that helps you with your resources. And Ethan with the Carrion Husk, just such a powerful 6-block equipment card in the chest slot as the Guardian of the Shadow Realm or the Shadow Beast going to be deployed as a defense reaction here.
That's an interesting card to bring into this matchup. I think Ethan is looking to play a little bit more of a value game against this aggressive Moises deck, thinking that if he can get the game to go longer, his 3-card hands are going to maybe outpace the 5-card hands of Moises over a longer game. And with that armor, like you just mentioned, he's got a lot of options and control over when he flips.
Absolutely. Going to go ahead and put another block, put a 6 power in the graveyard is Mr. Mansant Van Sant. Moises just going to, like, you know, opt for a stronger turn, putting a red to the bottom in that pulping, so setting up for a bit of a longer game himself. We'll see if we get there. Now, Ethan, on his turn, just going to go ahead and draw back up
Wow.
and pass with the Blood Rush Bellow still in hand. Fascinating.
Still at life parity, but that's not necessarily what you want to see. Giving the 5-card hand back to Moises is just inviting him to pop off here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the beginning of this game really dictated by Ethan drawing those 2 Blood Rush Bellows on
Yeah.
turn 0, and Moises finding one of his own here, pitching the Enlightened Strike. So no pitch cards so far. We're going to get to the other card. It looks like another red card here for Moises, so perhaps not a lot of resources, and we'll have to see what does he get off the top of his deck.
He's really hoping for some resources here. It looks like I missed the pitch on those.
I think it's a Cast Bones and maybe a red Assault and Battery, depending on what is left in the list.
Yep.
So not a lot of resources here for Moises. If those are 2 red cards, he might be running Blue Assault and Battery, a very popular pick.
Possible.
Yeah, for these Kayo decks.
I can't tell if Moises is biting his fist out of frustration or just thinking.
That looks like a ponderous man, if I've ever
Ponderous
seen one.
man. So maybe he got the resources and he's just thinking about how to best utilize them here.
3 cards left in hand. Ethan with 2 Blood Rushes of his own, and it looks like we're going to go ahead and crack the Heart and Cross Trap on the Blood Rush Bellow turn. That does normally indicate a lack of the resources. It's time to draw and discard card off the top with the Wild Ride.
Yeah, it looks like he's really hoping that he can get some extra resources to fill this turn out, but 4 cards in hand. He may just be able to make something work with this, even if it is...
Ooh.
And he hits the blue.
Yeah, that is going to be the blue out of the hand there. And this
Bit of a smile. He's not super happy to see that.
Coming in for 9 damage Blood Rush Bellow plus the Wild Ride. Or, sorry, plus the Blood Rush Bellow. Might token, that's what I'm trying to say. The Blood Rush Bellow plus the Might token are going to put this up to 9. This Wild Ride coming in with the go again. Now, Cast Bones, like we can see flashing in Moises' hand there. Such a powerful card. Does, you know, ensure to make sure his next turn will be quite strong as well. But these Blood Rush turns, you want to go as wide as possible, make it big as possible.
Yep, not really the card he wants to see. You end up shipping 2 extra damage that could have just been put on an attack when you play the Cast Bones. But he's going for the Claw, pitching the Beast Within.
Yeah, so this is another 5 damage, and looks as though Ethan here is just going to go ahead and intimidate another card away with the Flesh Bag, basically saying, you know, I know you have to pitch most of the time. Your attacks are going to be pitch a card and play a card.
Yeah.
Is he going to be able to snipe the Cast Bones here and make that the intimidated card?
If he doesn't, that's a bit of a whiff. You know, it's not value this turn, but man, that feels good to be able to throw the Cast Bones down at the end of this turn and then just arsenal the last card.
Yeah, I mean, this is huge. If the Cast Bone does get banished, that means Moises won't have a play after this, but the Cast Bone would be such a powerful follow-up to the Scowling Fleshbag block here.
Yep.
Ethan's going to head down to 28.
Moises with his poker face, not really revealing what got hit.
And he has the Cast Bones. Not able is Ethan to banish it to the Intimidate off the Scowling Fleshbag. A massive win for Moises in the early turns of this game. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going to have 7 Might tokens and an Agility.
And look at all the go again coming up. There's no way he doesn't have something wide planned.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Agility token's going to do it 6 ways from Sunday. The Pulping, the Zealous Beltings, the Enlightened Strike. So now Ethan's going to have probably at least a 1 or a double Blood Rush of his own to clap back. We'll see what life total Moises is, but he does have, of course, all those beautiful Might tokens to help even if he does block.
Yep. Yeah, Ethan's going to need to slow this game down a little bit and get it back to the pace that he wants to play at.
All right, now a double Blood Rush more than likely is going to make this much. It might not indicate the slowest of games as we're doing 1 Blood Rush into 2. 1 Blood Rush deserves another. Let's go ahead and see what the random discard is here for Ethan. Off the top, looks like a Boneyard Marauder, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, drawing 2 off of that. That is a 6-power attack.
2 floating means that second Blood Rush can be deployed if we want to do 2 Blood Rushes on the on the one turn. And the answer is yes. Let's go ahead and immediately put the second one out there. There is a beast with him in the hand for
he's
Ethan
hoping
here.
for
Yeah.
that. This could be a lucky break. 1 in 3 to get an extra card off of this.
Survey says
No.
gonna be the swing big. So just 2 more cards, but hey, getting +4 onto all attacks this turn. Let's see exactly how Ethan wants to utilize his hand here. 1 blue is going to mean 14 damage on this turn now, as 2 Mandible Claws are coming in for 7 apiece.
Yep. Clapping back with style.
Of course, Moises saying, yeah, I'll take your 7. I got 7 Might tokens hanging out over here. That's exactly as much damage as I just took that I have represented on my board state. We'll have to see if Moises wants to throw the Scowling Fleshbag in to complicate things on Ethan's turn as well.
That is a good point. They both have the Scowling Fleshbag, and you got to think they both know how to use it.
This is going to be a Dread Screamer here, making sure that we get value off the double Blood Rushes while we hopefully still have the ability to pay for the Claw afterwards if that Scowling Fleshbag does decide to join the party. Time to banish 3 from the graveyard. Oh my god. It is a miss.
No way.
Those are 2 Blood Rushes and a Scowling Fleshbag. There is no go again on this Dread Screamer after the double Blood Rush.
So bad.
That's unbelievable to see for not only fans of Levia, but fans of Ethan out here. That is just a brutal break.
You hate to see it. 23 to 28 now, but a 5-card hand, and Moises is just feeling great about this position right here.
Wow, the odds of that are pretty low, I think, to be hitting double Blood Rush and the Scowling there. That is unbelievable. But we're going to have to see now, how does Moises want to punish Ethan's tough breaks?
Yeah, he's got the agility token, just figuring out how to line this up best. You know, a lot of the cards that he showed... Oh, you know what? I was thinking about brute cards. Doesn't matter. This isn't a Bellows. This is a...
Oh, yeah.
They're Might tokens. They affect everything.
Absolutely. And the agility token means this is going to get go again. So the Enlightened Strike here is going to get to draw a card and come in for 12 with go again. My goodness. Ethan still got his game face on, not allowing the tough break to get in his head yet.
Yeah.
But he is still facing down a healthy 12 damage here.
Yeah, he's got to keep his mental strong. It may feel really bad here, but in a brute matchup, anything can happen. We can have whiffs. We just saw one. You know, it looks like Ethan might just have to hold out until hopefully the luck turns.
Yeah, and some of this is it's tough breaks, but it's also just the way that the deck came together. The double Blood Rush off the first turn, not able to successfully and easily get any cards into the graveyard early to fill your attacks. You even just had to pass with a card in hand trying to make those double Blood Rushes work. So you're kind of priced into making the plays you are if you're Ethan in this spot. And when you do, sometimes it just doesn't come together.
Yeah. 2 reds pitching into a CNC, so it's good value on the Carrion Husk there.
Absolutely, and at this point of the game, you're already down to 22. Moises is going to go ahead and Arsenal, so plenty of value off those agility tokens.
You know what? 23 to 22 and a 3-card hand from Ethan? It might not be as bad as we've just said. I mean, it's clear that he's on the back foot, but suddenly Ethan's kind of playing the game that he wants to.
Yeah, no agility represented for Moises yet. No discard either, so no might. So it's going to be just an honest turn from the Kayo deck here. We're going to go ahead and banish 3. I don't think it's possible to miss on this turn, but I think if you're Ethan, you'd like this to be the last turn so that you can get 7 more damage in potentially off the claw following that Dread Screamer.
Yeah, it looks like his graveyard is entirely 6s now. I could have missed something there, but yeah, got through all those misses swiftly early on.
Let's see. Now, he's got 4 cards in hand. Now, Moises, even though these cards have been so powerful for him, hasn't been finding the resources more often than not on these turns, having to make a lot of red hands work, which I do think is part of why Ethan, like you said, is still fighting and scratching and clawing in this game. He hasn't had the resources to power up. Talk about a way to power up the turn, though. The agile windup going to go ahead and make the agility on Ethan's end phase.
Yeah, that's an interesting time to use that. I suppose he just wanted to go again for sure this turn, but
Yeah.
I know that Kayo's typically would prefer to get the value from the might token if they can.
Yes, but CNC with go again is sometimes too juicy to pass up. This
That's
is
right.
makes Ethan have to consider the blocks on the first chain link, knowing that Moises might get to do more following the turn. You could see another send
Yeah, that's
packing.
interesting. Typically, if there's not like a send packing like you mentioned, I would almost wonder if you should send the vanilla damage first, but we'll have to wait and see. I didn't catch what was in the arsenal. Speaking of send packing, it looks like he just blocked with that.
This is going to be the pulping.
Ah,
This is a good way to get a go again as well. We're going to make the might token if Ethan does not block with 2 or more non-attack, or sorry, non-equipment cards. The pulping will have the dominate and then the go again. I don't think Ethan has anything beyond that one Guardian of the Shadow Realm in the deck, so this is going to have to go again, and then the Claw is going to follow up, and Moises is poised with that Might token to power up his turn following this as well, so...
well,
This,
did he banish the Guardian of the Shadow Realm, or was that in
oh,
his
it is
graveyard?
banished. Yeah, it is banished now.
So he could potentially decide to block with that, but it looks like he just decides to go ahead and block with the Scabskin Leathers, take a little bit of damage, and send back what he's got left after the Claw comes in.
But critically for Moises does still have that Scowling Flesh Bag ready to go, so you have to imagine at some point in this game that might be a large turning point for Moises in trying to keep some of the aggression down from the Levia player, as both are sitting sub 20, only 14 minutes elapsed. This one's gone relatively quickly, and I do, you've had some really tough breaks if you're Ethan, but if you're Moises, you've been trying to push through some pretty red heavy hands. So Ethan does have a way forward in this game. Going to take 3, looks like. Head on down to 15.
See what he's got. I know that Levia loves the 3-card hands, and if he can just keep blocking with 2 cards and sending back 3, he feels like he's in the driver's seat in that position. Now, with the early life lead that Moises took, he's still in the back seat a little bit, but the Dread Screamer is a fantastic card to play here.
Gonna see what the banishes are here, because right now if you do any potential flip, you have no playable cards. We do, I believe, just hit 2 more playable cards off the flip. With Ethan at 15, we have to be considering Blasmafet coming in and joining the fray.
Yeah.
Those are 2 hits, and maybe 2 hits is all you need if you're playing with your opponent already down to 17 and you're throwing 7 towards their face at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, an extra card for 2 turns in a row isn't nothing. It's a really good tempo swing. Allows you to block with more cards if you need to and still send something back.
Moises here has to face down the 6 damage. Once again, not working off a 5-card hand and no agility token represented as well. Looks like might be committing 2 cards to the block, which if you're Ethan, you have to be happy to see, knowing that Moises' turn. Maybe you see something like a Bare Fangs or a Swing Big, a good chunk of damage, but sometimes one big attack is easier to stomach and allows you to plan your own turn when you're considering your blocks in a different way than when you have to try to imagine what 3 chain links wide might look like.
Absolutely. It allows Ethan to really think more about how and when he wants to flip, whether he's going for redeemed or consumed. 15 life is a great place to be to make those decisions.
This is going to be a first time we see the Apex Bonebreaker join the cause. Going to get the Might token. And with the 1 floating, able to come in with 6 more from the Slithering Shadowpeed. I was just considering the turn was over here,
There's
but
that
Ethan...
3-card 12.
Yeah, you said it. Likes the 3-card hands quite nicely. Does Levia, thanks to the banish of the 6. The Shadowpeed going to be coming in here. This is a really healthy turn from Ethan. And Moises has already committed a card to block.
You can feel the tempo slowly shifting back into Ethan's favor here as Moises just thinking about, does he want to block? Does the aggressive deck want to block here? Or does he want to take the hit and just keep pushing damage?
Got the CNC in hand, does Moises, but at the moment, no arsenal for Ethan.
Takes it.
Yeah, just going to take and go down 2-6. So Ethan, even after that critical Blood Rush Bellow, Dread Screamer miss, currently has the life lead. Moises got 3 cards. Ethan used 3 cards quite well on his turn. Let's see what Moises' 3-card hand looks like here.
It looks like he's sending the Bare Fangs, draw a discard. That's also a very high value 2-card hand.
Oh yeah, we talked about it. Like maybe you're going to see a Bare Fangs, maybe you're going to see a Swing Big, but again, you can really plan the turn from here. You don't have to worry as much about like, okay, what's going to happen on this turn? What's going to happen on the next turn? This is a big ol' 10 swing thanks to the 2 Might tokens, one from the discard on the last turn, one from the Apex Bonebreaker. Ethan doesn't want to take 10 and go to 5. Looks like he might even be considering just putting 3 cards in front of this.
He says 3 cards, and I wouldn't surprise me at all if he takes the 1, goes to 14, and just goes for the arsenal.
Yeah.
Says, guess what? Consumed.
Looks like Ethan might be heading into Blasmafet here. Says, listen, you can have
the signed copy. Golden ink.
You can have a 5-card hand, my friend. I am joining forces with one of the devils themselves. Blasmafet gonna raise from the ground and join the battle as Ethan is joining forces with the lady herself. And let's see if those 2 cards that were banished off the, I believe the Dread Screamer there, are gonna be enough to put Ethan in the driver's seat, take control of the game, and move into the finals of the AGE Open.
Yeah, I'm looking at 4. Does that indicate just the number in banish, or is that 4 blood debt?
That's for Blood Dead, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
There's a Carrion Husk, and there's the Guardian of the Shadow Realm.
Right,
Yep.
so those 2, he can still play the Guardian of the Shadow Realm, which is phenomenal in this spot. I mean, that's exactly what you want to see as Ethan, the ability to kind of stem the bleeding, 13 life. Ooh, but we see a Blood Rush Bellow.
Yeah, it's going to be a big turn for Moises. He does have the ability to play out of that banished zone now and, utilize a really good 1-card hand, because a 1-card hand can become much more when you have that kind of permanent arsenal. But Ethan only has 2 playable attack actions in the banished zone here. So he's going to have to find the exact right times to use them, or it's not going to end up being enough, most likely. And this is going to be a Savage feat with the agility token here after the discarding of the agile windup. So this is now, must have done the agility token at the end of the last turn.
So 6 plus 2 plus 1, we're looking at 9. Coming in with go again. 1 resource floating, 1 card in arsenal, and drawing up another one.
Yeah, and I believe the card in arsenal is in CNC from the last turn that he did not discard off of a draw and discard. I might be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure it's a CNC, so not going to get a buff from the Blood Rush Bellow. And that's a red pulping in the hand. So that's not going to be able to do anything on the turn. It's just going to be a claw from here from Moises. But Ethan, again, like we talked about, when you don't know what comes next, right, you have to consider exactly, you have to consider all the possibilities.
That's right.
When a turn can go wider. And if Moises wants to, he can just put that 1 red card in the hand into the pitch zone and fire off the Command and Conquer, even if it doesn't get the benefit from the Blood Rush Bellow.
The way that Ethan decides to block is going to be so important for the way this game turns out from this moment. You can see he's sitting there thinking about all of his options. And he blocks 3. And he blocks.
Ooh, and he has a Hold the Line, which is going to prevent 3 more damage, and defense reactions wouldn't be able to be played on the CNC anyway, so get that out of the arsenal. All of a sudden, that CNC becomes way less powerful on this turn.
Amazing. This is huge for Ethan. Only taking 1 damage there. 2 card block.
I asked Ethan before the game. I was watching as the judge was doing the deck check, and I asked about Hold the Line. I was like, "How's this?" He was like, "Hasn't done anything all day. Hasn't done anything today."
Well, there it is.
How about this? A 1-card 5 block prevention over the course because of the Blood Rush Bellow drawing 2 cards
and
here.
He just swings the claw. Ethan's sitting there thinking, I mean, I've got a lot of options with that.
Wow. Just, again,
Art of War in hand.
So exciting to watch a master play their deck in Flesh and Blood. Moises, no slouch whatsoever, but Ethan is truly the maestro of Levia, and it's wonderful to get to watch him navigate this hero.
Look at that. He's perfect block, 5 plus the Might token. He's trying to eke out every point of value that he can in this situation. More life. It's his turn, and he has transformed.
Going to go ahead and start off here just with the Writhing Beast Hulk with the Might token here. So this is going to potentially threaten a bunch of Dominate damage, and it looks like Ethan is going to go ahead and put, I think that was a no block, maybe a Tear Limb from Limb into the arsenal.
Was he holding an Art of War?
The Tear Limb from Limb's in the pitch. Okay, yes. So the Art of War, I see.
Yeah. So he's setting that up, trying to maybe go wide later on when he's got more cards in hand. Just playing clean value Flesh and Blood. Doesn't even need the consumed. He's saying, you know what? These cards are going to stay there. They're not going anywhere. Just going to leave them.
I think this one might have come from the banished zone.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, I think this
good,
is one of
good
those.
eye. Good eye on
is,
that one.
Yeah,
so.
this is one of those 2 hits. This is Plasma Fett helping out good old Levia here. We're going to get 3. That is going to be, I believe, at least 1 hit, so this is going to get the Dominate. 7 coming in with Dominate out of the banished zone. 4 Plasma Fett Levia consumed. A Might token joining the fray thanks to the Apex Bone Breaker.
So he's spending 1 card and doing 7. Not bad.
He's showing these are my last 2 hits to be able to be played. Got the Guardian from the Shadow Rail, got the 1 Carrion Husk, and then I believe it's just a Boneyard Marauder as well.
He probably would have liked to see just a few more cards in the Banished Zone before he flipped, but it's certainly helping right now to have that extra card, that 5 Intellect, to be able to push damage, and Moises just takes it, puts a little 2 block in front, goes down to 5.
Yeah, really going to try to close this game out with that 5-card hand. Let's see exactly how Moises wants to do it. Those are the banished cards heading to the banished zone face down thanks to Plasma Fett, but there's no fatiguing that's going to be happening. This game is going to be won God's honest way.
That's right.
Someone's going to die.
Yep. Moises 4-card hand, Might token popping. No agility token. But he's got the Wild Ride, so he doesn't need that this turn. Just going to be a casual 7. Go again, shuffling under the table, making sure Ethan can't see any of those cards before he rolls the dice to randomly pick them.
We're going to get off. Ooh, a Bear Fangs there.
Red.
That's a huge hit if you're Ethan, because that's, again, with the Swing Bigs and Bear Fangs in these KO decks are just some of the most devastating single attack action card plays. So
I've got to imagine he would have loved to end the chain with that after the claw, but unfortunately, it gets discarded. We'll see what else he has. If you are right about the CNC and Arsenal, though, that could be a threatening play still left on the chain here.
Without a doubt. Ethan unaware of what that Arsenal is, so has to be, again, just playing around all the potential options for Moises here. And Moises still sitting on that flesh bag. Gonna have to see exactly how it's used and see if he's able to snipe a card like Ethan did earlier in the game.
Keeps sending 1 card at a time. There hasn't been an opportunity to use that, and you got to think Ethan is thinking about that flesh bag. He knows what that card does. He's probably just saying, you know what? That's why I'm blocking.
Coming in for 7 with Go again, thanks to the Might token. Another Might token created as well. Both players here really considering Moises on the offensive. You can see our judge watching in earnest as an Artivore is going to go ahead and get deployed from Banished Zone here.
Interesting choice. So playing a defensive Artivore.
Absolutely. We're going to go ahead and banish a card. It's going to go face down thanks to Plasma Fett. Draw 2 cards and most likely give them both +1/+1 here. Interesting.
Actions get +1 on defense. He must just be thinking he's not going to be able to get that value. It could even have to do with the flesh bag. If he can't get anything off a Go again, play it defensively.
Fascinating stuff from Ethan, once again showing he knows this deck better than most people out there. Let's go ahead and see exactly how he wants to block here. He's going to go ahead because of the 2 floating, play out
the efficiency of that.
Shadow Realm, man. Incredible. So because you can Guardian the Shadow Realm, if you've discarded, if you've banished to the 6, is that what allows?
If you've banished to 6, you can play it.
The Art of War allowing Ethan to go ahead and play it, be super efficient on this turn with his resources here. Coming in for 3 with the Go again. Just going to go ahead and looks like block the 1 with the Scabskin Leathers, take 2 damage, go down to 9. But of course, right now his cards are blocking for quite a bit more than they normally do. And by quite a bit more, I mean one more. But 1 in Flesh and Blood is often quite a bit, especially when you're considering defensive values going from 3 to 4.
Yeah, how many games did we have be at 1-1 at the end of the
over the day? And look at this, the CNC once again significantly less threatening now that Ethan has played out that arsenal, played out the defense reaction already on the chain, didn't save the defense reaction for a later scarier attack. You couldn't play it on the CNC, buddy, and so now Ethan's able to just put a single card in front of this and block 4 thanks to the Art of War.
I'll just take 2, no big deal. I wonder if he's considering more. I wonder how much he values that life total. I can't imagine he's going to want to put 2 cards in front of it, but he's thinking about something. Maybe
He might be thinking about the flashback, thinking about if he tries to go too wide, if the
Yeah,
flashback just
that's
gets
got
in
to be
his
it.
way.
You know, if you can't get the value on offense, you might as well get it on defense. And he's holding his cards in a way he's definitely thinking about one or two right now. He hasn't made a decision yet.
And also could just be which card he wants to work with. The barraging
Mm-hmm.
beatdown in his hand also changes your math, as it does intimidate as well. But looks as though he's just going to commit a 1-card 4-block thanks to the Art of War. And the agile windup at the end of the turn, going to power up Moises' next turn. So an agility, a might, should be 2 mights. Oh, no, 1 might, just because
one per
triggered
turn,
once.
yeah.
Yeah, triggered the once. So an agility and a might. Going to go ahead and power up Moises' next 4-card hand, and let's see exactly what Ethan wants to do. Is just going to be a Dread Screamer coming in 4/6.
This is the time. This is the time for the flesh bag if I've ever seen one.
Well, here's the thing. This is a blue card in the pitch there, right? If that's a Boneyard Marauder, right? 1 floating, you can come in with 6 after this no matter what.
So Ethan's
Come
considered
with the Boneyard Marauder, right?
Oh,
Because the Boneyard
oh.
Marauder, thanks to Blasmafet, right? So you're going to be able to do a 1-card, a 1-resource 6 following this, even if the flashback is committed here. So you're threatening 12 damage no matter what, as long as this hits. And it looks like we did hit 2 misses, but the Beast Within as well. Ethan giving a little smile. So that was, maybe that one was a little too
bead
close.
Of sweat drips down the side of his face after the way this
Absolutely.
game started.
Absolutely. And, Ethan, he's just giving a little shrug, like, hey, listen, I got plenty of 6s,
Look, man, I play Levia.
Yeah.
I'm not worried.
Okay, so 1 card left in hand. Yeah, you can intimidate it here if you are Moises. You do have, of course, a good amount of equipment block left over. 4 points of block value to Ethan's 1.
You know, and the way that you said that, it makes me wonder if Ethan is like almost trying to bait the flashback. I mean, he's got to play it at some point in this game. You can't just die with a flashback still available to block, but he hasn't given him a good opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, 6 coming in with the go again. Moises has to go ahead and try to find a way around this. Both players here, the highs and lows of Brute Gaming. Moises, the incredibly powerful cast bounce, but a bunch of red cards in the hand to follow those turns. Ethan hitting that really tough banish on the Dread Screamer, but navigating this game beautifully. These players are playing a fantastic game.
Such an incredible shift of tempo from the beginning of this game. I know the story when we started out was just, oh no, Ethan. And here he is in the driver's seat, threatening up to 12 damage, asking Moises, what are you going to do about this?
Yeah, absolutely. And now that's going to mean Moises is going to have to commit some blocks here. That agility token's so important. He committed a whole card to it on the last turn. Is he going to get much value out of it, depending on how much he has to block on this turn? You can see he's got a little smile on his face. He's not loving what he's seeing, but this is the last... Well, if the Boneyard Marauder does come out, it'll be the last major hit off of Blasmafet. So Ethan's not going to be able to rely on his demonic influences anymore. And it is going to go ahead and be the Boneyard Marauder play, potentially saying, I would like both cards from your hand, or at least one. Going to go ahead and banish 3 more cards from the graveyard here. That will go face down. Not as much in the graveyard.
Moises being measured.
1, 2, 3, 2 hits. Head, I mean, you don't really need hits at this point in the game, but 2 hits do go away. Or, at this point on this specific card.
I mean, the hits matter with things like...
For later in the game.
Yeah,
Not just for this Boneyard Marauder, all we need to do is banish 3.
Yep.
So now the last card that matters for Blood Debt for Blasmafet here is that Carrion Husk. So that's not going to be doing anything but banishing a single card from the top of the deck at the end of each turn. 1 block left on the Apex Bonebreaker for both players. 6 damage coming across.
Moises is thinking about whether he'd rather have an arsenal and go to 2, or just give up the hand and allow Ethan to come back with 5 cards.
And Ethan really saying, I can take control of the game once I take all the cards out of your hand. But that's when that flashback might really come into play once Ethan tries to do something off of just this 5-card hand.
That might be what Moises is thinking, is like, I need to get some flashback value to come back in this game, and the only way to do that is say, show me what you can do with 5 cards. You can't play around it if you've got to send everything you've got.
So this is just going to be the claw for 4. Technically, it does have the go again, but Moises here just making sure he gets the value off of the might token. Nothing from the agility, but the might token going to go ahead and power up the claw. Way better than just... I mean, definitely better than the agile windup in the arsenal.
Yeah.
And most likely better than creating the might and the agility for your next turn, given that Ethan has a big old 5-card hand to work with of his own. Let's see if Ethan wants to take it here.
See another Art of War. Probably not valuing that too much on offense on this stage of the game, but other than that, it's not all that useful on defense either.
The
We'll have
art,
to see how he plays that.
the Art of War, yeah. I mean, the banish can draw you a couple cards, can give you the go again, which can
Right.
be used to go wider. But again, the flashback can really mess with those calculations.
Yep. It's just going to be.
Oh, and there's a blood rush.
That's huge.
So, I mean, maybe Ethan here depends a lot on the cards that are drawn. It depends a lot on if that flashback is able to do major work on the defensive end for Moises. This might be the game if Ethan is able to, put this together. 4 damage does represent over half of his life, but it doesn't require him to give any cards if he does not want to.
3-3.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so it's a Smashback Ailhorn as well as it looks like a Savage Feast if I am seeing correctly. Oh, could almost see the arsenal there for Ethan. He's managing and thinking about his graveyard so much, thinking exactly what do I have left? How many, what economy can I use on these cards that I have coming up in my deck, in my hand? Whew.
He's just doing math. He's just making sure, playing cool, flesh and blood, making sure he's making the right play here. And you got to respect players who know when to slow the game down, take the time to think, because this turn is so critical.
4 damage on the combat chain here. Ethan sitting at 7 life to Moises' 3. 33 minutes elapsed in the semifinals of the AGE Open here in March. Looks like Ethan going to go ahead and say no blocks, head on down to 3.
Taking it.
Moises going to have a 4-card hand to block with, and of course, the 3 points of value defensively from his equipment.
The Art of War.
Time for
Blood
Ethan.
Rush Bellows. He's probably just looking to end the game right here, right now. Banishing a card, drawing 2.
This is going to be an Endless Maw, and I believe an Agile Windup in the hand there drawn off of the Art of War. He chose the go again and the draw 2, though this is a guaranteed hit off of the Blood Rush Bellow. Moises going to pick the card. The card discarded is that Agile Windup. Does Ethan find the resources here to power up a powerful turn?
That looks like a blue.
That is a blue, and to command and conquer.
Okay. Doesn't get buffed up, but it's a card. It does say damage on it.
Yep. So now, interestingly, though, it depends on what that arsenal card is, because the blue here, yes, you can play the Endless Maw. It's going to be a Mark of the Beast, so he is for sure able to come in with a claw following this, even if the, if the Scowling Fleshback is deployed here. The claw will be possible, and this is just going to block all 8.
You have to do this play, and Ethan knew that going in.
Yeah, so this is going to take both cards and that Scowling Fleshback, so now only 1 card left in Ethan's hand, which is that Command and Conquer.
It is.
And he's just going to send it because you know what? Even though the claws are 5 damage and
6 is more than 5.
6 is more than 5, you might be like, oh yay, Blood Rush Bellow's doing, yay, I get to do it on my claws. But
and Moises has to give both cards here. I mean, unless one of them blocks for 4, which I don't think is possible in this position. Yeah.
Ooh, and one of them is a 2-block, and it is the Blood Rush
He does
Bellow.
have equipment left, so I did speak a little
I think
soon.
it's 2 2-blocks. I think it's 2 2-blocks, so
Is
he might have to give all of his.
Oh my goodness. It's a
Oh no, he can just go.
Blood
He can take
Rush?
2 and go to 1. Take 2 and go to 1.
Yeah. What is the card under there?
Agile Windup and a Blood Rush Bellow.
Blood Rush.
Yeah.
Okay, so he blocks 5, goes to 2. Deciding not to use the equipment there. He'd rather get the might on a later turn if possible. Yeah, did he miss taking damage there?
I'm not sure. We'll have to see.
The life total maybe hasn't updated yet.
Now, here's the question for Ethan. You've got your opponent at 3 to your 3. Can you find the go again, or do you have to roll scabs? The answer is we're just going to go ahead and put, bunch of cards into this Endless Maw. Not going to roll scabs here, buddy. Because I believe that's, he might have 2 floating off a blue Deadwood Rumbler, but not willing to roll scabs and just take the 1 and give Moises all the time in the world.
With 3 reds in hand, this is definitely, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
he has 2 floating there.
He's just over pitching because he does not want to. He doesn't. I think he wants to get all these cards out of his hand. That is a no block in the Deadwood Rumbler, so he's just making sure he gets everything out of the hand.
Clear the hand up. He wants to see a new 4 cards at the end of this turn. He's sending, hopefully 9. I haven't seen what he banished.
Ethan does have plenty of ways.
9.
Yeah.
Just saying, give me 3 more.
Ethan has plenty of ways to either get some go again or, go over the top with things like tear limb from limb, with things like the agile windups and the abilities to move past that, the scowl, the writhing beast hulks, cards that can get the dominate, convulsions from the bellows of hell, barraging beatdowns. He has ways to do it. The question is he going to be able to get there before Moises is able to resolve another cast bones?
This is huge because this allows Moises to block with 3 cards. If Ethan can only present 9 again, he's going to be able to come back with up to 9 with 1 card.
Wow. All right, look at this, you guys. Look at this. We're going to get 4 might tokens here, but what are the cards in hand? There is a Reckless Swing, which is now something that Ethan is able to play around, given that he knows it's in the next 6 cards.
That is huge. Ethan's sitting at 3. He needs to take 0 damage.
And he knows that now.
Yep.
It's not always a given or a guarantee to know that if your opponent is playing Reckless Swings, because Moises quite literally is on 1. He's on just the 1.
Yeah, so we see 4 might tokens, and he's drawing a fresh 4.
Ooh, and there we go. The agility here are going to go ahead, and at the end of Moises' turn, allow for Ethan to get go again here. So this is going to be most likely 9 with go again. This might just be the game right here.
Yeah, this feels fantastic for Ethan. Presenting 9 with go again.
Now, yeah, this is 9 go again.
2 cards left in hand. This has got to be it. I mean, if he's got the resources to play another card.
He's got an Art of War and another card in hand, so we'll have to see.
Oh, he has an Art of War.
Oh, it's a Graveling Growl. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right. And as long as he banished, which he did,
yeah,
a 6 power, he can play that Graveling.
Ethan going ahead and proving me correct. As I was trying to say, he's got plenty of ways to go over the top.
The Reckless Swing.
He just has to find it.
1, and that's the game. Another 1 life to 1 life.
He gives us the little look.
Got
Ethan
the look.
Going ahead and moving on to the finals here of the AGE Open in March. Ethan coming on in from his part of the world, the East Coast, blowing on through Southern California and proving that he has got what it takes. He may be a man of the people. He may be a broadcast baby, but he is a darn good flesh and blood player at the end of the day.
That's right. You know, hearing him talk about Levia kind of between casts, he is so intelligent about the way the deck plays. He was explaining to me the way that this matchup goes and how his deck can outvalue over time as long as he has the time to take those slow, measured 3-card hands. And he did exactly that to claw his way back into this game. Phenomenal finish from Ethan.
And just an incredible game. I mean, the defensive Art of War play was exactly, I think it was the game-winning play. He's incredible. He's at 1. Yeah. Right? That extra point of block that he got on the Beast Within was the difference maker.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it really was he sits here at 1, barely able to stay alive.
That's exactly what you said. In Flesh and Blood, it comes to 1, and what did we see? Exactly that.
Ethan Van Sant proven to us all that he still got it, folks. He still got it, which he'll tell you. If you ask him, he'll tell you. He'll tell you he still got it. So we're going to go ahead and get ready, take a short break here before moving on to the finals, everybody. So don't go anywhere because we have got the finals of the AGE Open. We've got to hang out and figure out. I don't even know what's going on the other end of the bracket.
Yeah.
We do know that Ethan is going to be over there facing one of our other 2 incredible competitors.
Katsu or
Dromai. Couple matchups. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. Oh, and we're back. Hey, everybody. So before we take a quick break, we're going to say hi. Hey. Say hi.
And, hello. Excuse me.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Good to see everyone.
Yeah.
See my face. I don't see your face, unfortunately. I can see your text, and I see there's a lot of hype in the chat, a lot of GG Ethans.
Yeah.
And I know at the beginning of this game, chat was worried. I saw a couple people kind of ship it.
Yeah,
when that life total separated, but he clawed his way back in so well.
He's a master. I mean, what can we say?
Game.
We got to watch a master at work, and also incredible congratulations to Moises, the RTN winner here at Collector Legion just last week, and clearly quite good with this KO deck. Because
absolutely,
not a lot of KOs did very well in this tournament, but Moises made it all the way to the top 4. So let's go ahead and check out our bracket as we look ahead at the top 8 as the Dromai player, Gabriel Montez, took down Katsu. A lot of people were saying the reason to bring Katsu into these tournaments is to take down Dromai, but Gabriel's saying, hold my beer.
Yeah. Number 1 seed showing us why. Doesn't really care if you bring aggressive. He's going to sweep you.
Absolutely. So this Dromai deck is now going to be facing down against Ethan's Levia. Fairly new player, as we're being told by our producer, so we probably we probably shouldn't tell him about how long Ethan's been playing his deck, but from what we're hearing about Gabriel, his like third event ever was a ProQuest or an RTN that he just
Yeah.
went ahead and took down, just took down the
It's
whole
amazing.
thing. So no slouch in his own right. So we are in for a barn burner of a finals.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and take just a quick break, and we will get ready for the finals here at the AGE Open. It's Gabriel Montez versus Ethan Van Sant. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in just a